All right, Moses joining the desk for our first look at sports. And of course, Chris Molly, quite the story at the GMC Rangeland Derby.
What's really nice is the man's from Chauvin, so you got to give props to them, just an hour south of us. Of course, making his debut and impressing those in his rookie campaign to Heat 6. Molly really stepping it up, especially after taking a 10-second penalty on day 2. Now, he was up against BJ Carey on barrel 2, Ray Mitswing on barrel 1, and Lane Bremner in 4 in an all CPCA heat.
There's the horn and a quick start right across the board. Watch Chris Molly from that 3-barrel and BJ Carey from the outside, and I should say SNC Lavalin and Lane Bremner from the outside. Look at those guys go wheel to wheel, matching strides with the early lead as they fly out is Chris Molly, and curve distribution. Nice curve, nice distribution of that speed. Chris Molly's got company coming. Here comes Lane Bremner, SNC Lavalin, and Ray Mitswing with a late charge, but at the wire, Chris Molly, Ray Mitswing just a nose ahead of Lane Bremner, and BJ Carey closing hard in 4th.
Molly clocked in at a time at 1:12.49, the 3rd fastest time of the night. Now, after the race, Molly talked about his success in the heat.
Yeah, this is a team I took out of 1, so I trying to redeem myself, get the boys used to things, and they pop like they usually do back home.
Now to Heat 8, it had an all CPCA lineup as well. Brian Labicane, his son Jamie, Shane Nolan. They've all won this heat, and now it was time for Vern Nolan to shine. The Rapid View Rocket took Heat 8, edging out the surging Brian Labicane with a time of 1:12.87. Now, as for the top CPCA driver through those 3 days, it was Wayne Knight. However, it wasn't the greatest. He finished in 4th behind Devin Mitswing, who was just in 2nd place in Heat 4. Jordy Fike, too much to handle for everyone in that heat. Kurt Bensmiller finished with the fastest time in Heat 9 with a blistering 1:11.93, taking the day money. So taking a look at the standings, Kurt Bensmiller, of course, we just showed you, 1:11.93. Tim Haroldson in 2nd, Chris Molly in 3rd with the greatest time there. Top CPCA driver for sure on day 4. Jordy Fike and Chad Harden round out the top 5. Now looking at the aggregate standings, Jason Glass still on top, holding on after day 3. Now you have Kurt Bensmiller in 2nd, Kirk Sutherland in 3rd, Rick Fraser and Ray Mitswing rounding out the top 5. Turning our attention to baseball, now coming off their first loss of the season, the Lloydminster Twins were back at it, hosting the North Battleford Beavers at Guest Field. We begin in the 4th, Twins up 5-0. Kevin Payne with the single to left. Chris Osmak will score, making it 6-0. The Beavers looking to calm things down. However, they'd have no luck. 2 batters later, runner on 2nd. Adrian Gutierrez's dribbler just goes through the shortstop. Cole Kostaski cashes in. Steve Barber will be at the plate. And Tyler Russell smokes him in the head. He'd be okay. He's a trooper. Now the score was 7-0. And the 5th, the Beavers' Ryan Shepard. Again, another dribbler. Brendan Lampitt will make it 7-1. Beavers scored 3, but the Twins pull off the 8-4 win. Now the Midwest Expos also in action at home, taking on the St. Walburg Reds at Legion Ballpark. Brent Trafiak, he'll steal home in the 1st to open the scoring, but Dion Forget was lights out the rest of the way, striking out Sheldon Williamson, part of 9 strikeouts. Unbelievable. Expos do come back, take this one by a score of 7-2, clinching a playoff spot in the process. Now, other scores from the league: Edam keeping their playoff hopes alive with a 3-2 win over Standard Hill, and Wilkie snap Unity's 5-game win streak by a score of 7-5. Now, the Northwest Prairie Pirates were in action today for a double dip against the Saskatoon Diamondbacks. Now, this was a pair of games that got rained out on May the 3rd. The 2 sides were in unity for this one. Now is the first contest for Unity's Rhett Fieser, who's on the mound for the Prairie Bucks. Don't have the score for game 1, but we will have both of them for you for late night, coming up later tonight, of course. Well, the rides at Colonial Days won't be the only thing thrilling on the Midway, as the Chuckwagon Races are set to begin tomorrow. The exhibition grounds will be packed to watch some quality Chuckwagons. The grounds crew recently finished repairing a damage around the track and to the announcer's tower from a windstorm back in January.
We've rebuilt it. It's all structurally sound, and we've resided it and done some updates in it as well, so it's a blessing in disguise.
Some of the upgrades include a new sound system. Now, as for the race itself, 20 total drivers from the CPCA and WPCA will be in town, a rare occasion which should be a treat for those around the border city.
Between us and Calgary Stampede, they're the only places you can see the World Professional Chuckwagon Association and the Canadians race together. So it's kind of a really neat experience, and it's very unique, and so it's nice that we can have it here for them as well.
Now, the races run Wednesday through Friday starting at 6 o'clock each night. Now, as for the drivers who weren't able to go to this year's Stampede, they will still have a chance to get on the track and try to earn some cash. Chance Bensmiller will be one of those drivers who will take part in the 3 days of action. He's excited to see what some of the drivers from the WPCA have in store.
It helps out with everybody. You know, guys over there, you wonder how tough they're running, and they're over there wondering how tough we're running. So for these guys, the guys that aren't in Calgary, to be able to come and show what they have and, you know, get a few new horses in, it's great.
Now, this event won't go towards the driver standings, but it does give the drivers a chance to try out different outfits.
A couple I've packed this year, I've had in a couple races, but I put them in new spots, so we'll see how that works out for me. And, you know, I got a couple horses in Calgary with my brother and with Vern, so that's a huge bonus to me, getting them horses going there and running that caliber. And it gets me a chance to try all these new horses in totally different directions, I guess.
The CPCA Pro Tour Finals will be in Lloydminster in August, perhaps giving the CPCA drivers some sort of an advantage.
This is the first time they've worked it up, so now this is when they can work out the kinks for when we come here at year end. And me and Vern Nolan, we're the track coordinators for the CPCA, and BJ Carey and Dallas Dick are our sub coordinators with us. So it's good for me to come down, and at least now I know, you know, if something's wrong, I can ask Mike, hey, maybe, you know, when we get here, can we fix this? And it works out good.